What's up, guys? NepentheZ here, and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. I am going to make some huge changes today in the name of fun, guys. In the name of fun. Before we get into what I'm going to be doing here, I just want to show you guys. Did he sell? Oh God, I spoiled it. We packed Edison from Liverpool League SBC, which is pretty sick. If it was Allison, I'd have been like, oh, that was pretty hilarious. I bought only like 5 Dohertys for 3.5k. I wish I bought more. He's up at like 10k now. I could easily have bought 100 of them and I would have like made 700,000 coins profit. But because I'm an idiot, because I'm a dumb stupid, that didn't happen. I packed Edison, sold him for 185. That puts us up to 2.1 million coins. And also, we're in a spot where we've got a lot. As you can see, 4,700 players in the club now. The grind is going good. And we've got a lot of other stuff. I packed Belotti in the same pack as Edison, would you believe it? From a rare election players pack. You'll see that pack in a second. But as you can see, guys, we're at a point now where I've got an absolutely insane amount of worth in the club. And so I was looking around. I was looking at my results from this weekend league and what was good and what was bad. And we'll talk about the squad and the positives and negatives of the squad in a second. But for those of you that obviously watch me stream it on Mixer, and for those of you that follow me on Twitter, you all know that we ended up finishing on 24 wins this weekend league. I actually got to 23 wins and 4 losses. So I had 3 games remaining. And I started playing relaxed, and that was a bad move. In fact, in the next game, the game for the 24th win with 3 left, I was 4-2 up with 5 in-game minutes left, and I lost in 90 minutes. I literally conceded straight from kickoff and conceded again in the 90th minute. And it was just because I wasn't focused, because my primary goal this week was getting to Elite 3. I took a lot of learning opportunities through this week, finding out some flaws in my team, finding out some flaws in my gameplay. I played against a couple of really good opponents. I think 2 pros and 1 top 100 this week. I lost to all 3 of them as well. They taught me some very valuable lessons. But what we're going to get from Elite 3 is obviously 70,000 coins. We're going to get a guaranteed 3 Premier League Team of the Seasons. Now, obviously, we all expect the Premier League to crash on Thursday when rewards come out, because of the fact that so many are going to get packed. But at the same time, here's what's weird with this market always. Everyone is saving coins and going to get rid of their rewards to improve their team via Premier League Team of the Season on Thursday. So it actually might not be a case of it crashing super hard. There might be an influx where it crashes, but then it will go back up again as people want to prepare their teams for Friday. So even if in the current market, if we got the worst 3 cards, we would still make 400,000 coins from the Premier League Team of the Season pack, plus the 70,000 coins and the 100k pack. We are pretty much guaranteed of a minimum of 500,000 coins. Now, if we even hit someone half decent, I'm not even talking about the big guys, but if we even hit someone half decent, Trent, 600,000 coins, Wijnaldum, 400,000 coins, Laporte, 300,000 coins, Robertson, 540,000 coins, Fernandinho, 400,000 coins, that we could potentially make millions. And then obviously if we hit one of the big cards, Hazard, Sterling, Aguero, Salah, Ericsson, Van Dijk, Aubameyang, Mane, Son, or Lacazette, they're all worth 1 million coins or more. That would be nice. So I was looking at my team, and I was looking at what I wanted to do with this team and where I wanted to go with it. And as I said, in the name of fun, guys, I still will have a meta team, but in the name of fun, I'm selling Kevin De Bruyne. I bought him for 2 million coins. I got great use out of him. He's genuinely one of my favorite players in the game. His stats, as you can see, are amazing. His in-game stats are absolutely mental. And he did for me 81 games, 75 goal contributions, including this weekend league we just played. I played him at CDM, which is why there's a shadow on him. He's currently selling for about 1.75. And so with that, I'm going to sell him. Yes, I'm taking a big loss on him. But as I said, it's all in the name of fun. And the other thing that I'm doing, guys, is something that's actually going to be quite hard to do, because the guy's been an absolute machine for me. But we're also going to be selling Kylian Mbappe. And I'm going to be selling Mbappe for one of two reasons. Reason number one is that he won the Player of the Year and the Young Player of the Year. And so he might get an SBC, he might not, and whether or not he does or not is kind of irrelevant, right? But also reason number two, he is going to get a team of the season in a week. Not that it's going to be Bundesliga this week, and then it's typically French League and Italian League together in week 3. So he's going to get a team of the season, and it will be probably 95 or 96 rated. But because he won Young Player of the Year and Player of the Year in France, people are speculating that maybe EA will give him like a 98 SBC and a 96 SBC, one for each. But so far as yet, there's been no SBCs and no sign of an SBC. But I'm going to be selling Mbappe. He's honestly one of the best players I've used this year. You can see from his stats, 169 games, 150 assists, and 83 goals. Absolutely insane return. I'm going to be taking quite a heavy loss on him. I bought him for 3.85 and we're going to be selling him for about 2.95. So we're going to be taking, a huge loss. But as I said, guys, it's all in the name of fun. Like I don't want to be like, I love the team that I played with. I obviously got elite with the team that I played with, but I don't want to be controlled by the team. I don't, when we was in the first owner road to glory, we was controlled by the team and the players that we could use and stuff. And I was not scared per se to move, but I just wasn't moving smart. And so what I want to do for this weekend league, this will heavily depend on rewards, is I want to buy Ronaldo, team of the year. I want to buy Trent, 94. If I can't afford him, we'll put Valencia back in. I want to buy Alisson, 95. If I can't afford him, we'll put De Gea back in. And then I want to buy Aubameyang. And I will make sure that I can get Aubameyang and Ronaldo. Now, obviously, the team won't start like this. The team will start on pretty much full chemistry. But this is how it will look in game. So Ronaldo and Aubameyang will be on the wings. In fact, Aubameyang will be that side. Mkhitaryan will be my centre cam. Then Kante and Vieira will be my CDMs. And then the defence the same. Now, if we get in our red player picks, if we get Van Dijk, brilliant. I can sell that Van Dijk and release some coins. If we get Alisson or Trent or Robertson, or if we get Aubameyang or Lacazette, or if we get Christian Eriksen, brilliant. They go into our team. If we don't, this might pretty much be the team as we see it, right? So I will have Gareth Bale on the bench. For this week, however, we're going to carry on starting Gareth Bale. Obviously, Bale, you're about to see in the gameplay, guys. Bale was just such a saviour for me this weekend league. 336 goals and 199 assists in 371 games. He's just unbelievable for me. But we've got such a good squad now, and we're in such a strong spot. I think I've got a few other decent untradables as well that we can throw onto the bench, like one or two. I don't think I've got much floating around. I think another icon is there. Yeah, so we've got George Best that we could just use as a super sub. And I think there's like one or two other half-decent players. Ter Stegen, and then Aubameyang. Obviously, I can't use because I'm going to be using the player of the team of the season, Aubameyang. But that's what I want my team to look at. Now, as I said, the team will actually look like that. I don't know why I don't read down there. I will talk a little bit about some of the team and how it played and changes that I made this week. But I really want Team of the Year Ronaldo, guys. And I'm hoping that's my 2 Team of the Years that have sold. That's one of my Team of the Years in sold. So Kylian Mbappe, guys, has gone 3 million coins. I loved having him. He was brilliant for the club. He was important for the club. Now, once Kevin De Bruyne sells for the 1.7 million, that's going to put us into a position where we can actually afford to buy Cristiano Ronaldo. And it will leave us in a position where we're not going to be too far off of guaranteeing. There's no point going striker, is there? Because he's actually he could be a centre mid and stuff because of the way people put him in. But yeah, I know Ronaldo is about 6.2 million. I think that's where it's at. But I just want him in my squad. I want to experience having him. I want to experience. Oh, there's 2 there. I guess he's maybe a little bit more expensive. So we're 1.5 million-ish away from getting him. There you go. There's 2 there. 6.3 is what he's going to cost me. And we're 1.5 million away. Now, people, when I tweeted out that I could potentially sell Mbappe, people were like, not Mbappe. I'm going to be putting Ronaldo in Mbappe's spot. Trust me when I tell you, this is an upgrade. And what this will do is this will give me the incentive again to carry on playing hard throughout all of the team of the season, to continue generating lots of rewards and lots of coins, to continue improving my squad. You know, I don't know if team of the year Ronaldo is going to crash in price as well. Maybe he does. Maybe when the Syria comes out and he gets another 99 team of the season, maybe the team of the year plummets. I don't know. But as I said, in the name of fun, this is what we're going to be. This is the team that I'm going to hope to have for this weekend league. And so once I buy Ronaldo, once De Bruyne sells, it will leave us with about 500,000 coins in liquid coins, and at least 1 million coins just sitting in the club. So with the 500,000 coins minimum that will be guaranteed from rewards on Thursday, we will absolutely be able to afford Aubameyang as well. It's just whether or not we can also afford Alisson and Trent will determine on whether or not we can get this exact squad, or if I have to go back to putting Valencia and David De Gea in, then so be it. For this week, guys, before we get into a whole bunch of gameplay here, for this week, for practicing in FUT Rivals, we're going to be popping Kante back into the team. He's going to sit back into the CDM role. We're going to be popping Mkhitaryan into the team because he's going to be our cam anyway, unless we get Christian Eriksen team of the season. And I do like this card. It is a very good card. His low composure causes him some issues, but other than that, this card is brilliant. With Kante in the team, we can now go back to this as well, because we will now get Alonso on 11 chemistry, Van Dijk on 8. Oh, Van Dijk was on 10 before, wasn't he? Oh, this actually still works. That actually works better, other than Gareth Bale. And then in the right wing, we're going to play... where is he? We're going to play this Aubameyang for the time being. So we're going to play the team like this. I'll figure it out how to set it up so that we get full chem. I'm pretty sure I can trap in Bale at one of the spots and get him on 7 chem and Varane on 7 chem and everybody else on 10 chem, other than Alonso. I'll have a play around with it. But until I get Ronaldo, this is how the team's going to line up. And then when I get Ronaldo, Ronaldo's going to go into the team and Aubameyang will come out until I get Aubameyang, and then Bale will come out and we'll go from there. But obviously I need Kevin De Bruyne to sell for that. He was the cheapest. What did I list him at? I listed him at 178, I think. Yeah, 178. He's the cheapest by like 20,000 coins. Obviously, maybe he's not like a sought-after card. If I have to relist him in an hour and drop him down by another 20k to get rid of him to get that CR7, I will. The League SBC grind is going to continue throughout the course of this week, so hopefully we'll actually pack some stuff and make some more coins that way anyway. And I'm excited to have that as our team for the weekend. So with that being said, guys, let's get into some more of the action and gameplay from the rest of this weekend's games. I will be right back. Well, how about that, guys? I'd literally just gone back onto the transfer market to go and put CR7 on my watch list so that I could buy him when De Bruyne sells, and De Bruyne sold. So that's us up to 6.5 million coins. So I'm not going to have the 500,000 that I thought I was going to have. But 6.3 there. Is anyone... Come on, someone list him up at like 6.1 right now. No, but we have just bought Team of the Year Cristiano Ronaldo. He is in the club. I didn't think I'd do it. I'm doing it because I want to have fun with this game over the course of this, the rest of this game cycle. Even if that means I don't get elite. Some would argue that Ronaldo will help me get elite easier. Some would argue that selling De Bruyne and Mbappe for Ronaldo is a step down for the players that I have to put into the team. But there you go. We now have Team of the Year Cristiano Ronaldo. So even though you're not going to see him in today's gameplay, which is crazy, he's there. He's in. He's on. He's part of our squad. And for that, I'm delighted. So there you go, guys. Cristiano Ronaldo. I'll figure this team out. We'll look at the brand new team tomorrow. And get into some gameplay and some action with the brand new team tomorrow. But for the rest of today's video, guys, it will be some gameplay from the weekend league. So I'll see you soon. All right, guys, as we go into the gameplay, I have got some comments, as I said before. I didn't take too many because I want to first of all just talk about some experiences I had this weekend, some issues that came up with my gameplay. that I was able to rectify, some that I wasn't able to rectify, and some just silly mistakes that shouldn't be happening no matter who you are, really. So first things first, I decided, as you guys saw from a video a couple of days ago, to play Kevin De Bruyne in at CDM instead of Kante, and I put Dennis Bergkamp at Cam in my team. When I was playing in Rivals Division 1 earlier on in the week, every time I come up against like a really, really strong opponent, one of the biggest things that I noticed was they kept abusing the fact that I had small players. So Kante and Marcelo were two players that I just kept getting beaten in for, at this stage of the game, at a high level FIFA. And I'm not saying I'm a great player, but that's just where I'm playing. I'm coming up against people that have Ronaldo all the time, Hullet and such. So that midfield battle and the wings, when you got Cristiano and Ronaldo out on the wing, he just bullies Marcelo. So we decided to make the change and put in KDB at CDM because he's good defensively, not outstanding, but he's obviously amazing everywhere else and taller than taller than Kante. And then I also decided to put in Alonso at left back because he's way taller than Marcelo, and then selling Marcelo freed up some coins for us to improve our team in other areas. So that was how we started this weekend. The first thing I want to kind of note and speak about, as a lot of people have asked, is how was Dennis Bergkamp? Honestly, not impressed. There was one positive change with not having Kante and having Bergkamp, and that positive change was when I take corners, I call someone short, I pass it short to them, I flick it up and I volley it in for a header, right? When Kante's in the team, no matter where he plays or what my tactics are, he's always the person that comes short. So unless I take the corners with him specifically, he's the one that crosses it in. And for some reason, his crosses just aren't super accurate. I don't know what, it's Team of the Year Kante. So I would have thought that his crossing would still be at a high level, 80s, 90s or whatever. And according to the database, so he actually only has 83 crossing, so his crossing is pretty bare, and I guess that's why the crosses weren't super accurate. Now what's really interesting is Dennis Bergkamp only has 85 crossing, so his crossing isn't even much better than Kante's crossing. But when Kante was out of the team and Bergkamp was in the team, Bergkamp started coming short for the corners, and for whatever reason, the crosses were immaculate, and I started scoring way more goals from corners. So that was a big positive for having Bergkamp in the team, but that was the only positive for having Bergkamp in the team. In spite of the fact that his dribbling is insane, and for a big guy, his agility and balance is also quite high, he was very heavy on the ball, very laboured, he wasn't very fast. Even though he has 84 stamina, which is reasonable for a Cam, he was always the person that had the least stamina at halftime and at 60 minutes. If I paused to make changes, 65, 70 minutes, he was always the most tired player, which really surprised me because Gareth Bale, who is obviously on the wings for me and runs up and down, has less stamina than Bergkamp at 81 instead of 84. But is not even as tired as Bergkamp, yet plays in a role more demanding physically. And that made me think about something that somebody had said to me a few days ago. Somebody had said to me, one of the biggest issues with stamina this year is and why drop back one depth fast build up works so well is because stamina isn't depleted based on how much players run or don't run or sprint or anything like that to some degree. And it's actually depleted in a sense of the position they play and the custom tactics and player instructions. And so because Dennis Bergkamp was in at Cam, and because he has high medium work rates, he burns a lot of stamina because he has high attacking work rates. So according to EA, high medium means he's always up the field and comes back some. Always up the field and comes back some. And so he just takes stamina deficiency in spite of the fact that he might not be moving. If I set him to stay forwards, he'd probably still burn the same amount of stamina, even though he doesn't make as much, run as much. And so I would love to talk to Tom, the EA dev guy, about how stamina works in game with work rates, positioning, tactics, and things like that, or whether it is a true instance of if a player moves, he loses stamina. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Because I think that would resolve a lot of issues that a lot of people have with stamina in general and foot champs in general. So although KDB was good in at CDM, Bergkamp wasn't great at Cam. And what I noticed is against not so great players, and I didn't really play against many bad players here today. They're all very good players with some exceptional players. But what I noticed that was against the not so great players, Kante was a far better CDM. So pretty much, if people didn't recognize that Kante was really small and abused that, Kante was a considerably better CDM than De Bruyne, and he thoroughly helped me. In almost every game, I would sub Kante on at halftime, get Bergkamp off, and put De Bruyne at cam. And once I did that, it had massive positive kind of experiences for me. I started turning losses into wins, or draws into wins, or narrow leads into big leads. And the way Kante runs around the field, that 99 stamina, and the fact that he's got high aggression and lots of pace, he's just in people's faces. And so, like I say, if people weren't able to see and manipulate the fact that I had Kante in my team, and just abuse the fact that he's small, he was better set in that CDM role. So I think with us buying Team of the Year Ronaldo now and going back to a Kante Vieira role, I'm actually really happy with that, because then what I can do is, if I'm struggling against somebody who is very good and is abusing the fact that Kante's short, I could just bring on one of my defensive-minded players that I've got, either Aaron Ramsey at 6 foot, or Antonio Valencia. Now that we've got Juanfran back in the team, you know, Antonio Valencia can come in at CDM, and we've got a few bigger players that we can put in there with great defensive qualities if Kante's getting run over. So in terms of my team, that was kind of like the first things that I noticed. In terms of my gameplay, there was a few things offensively that I need to implement in my game very quickly if I want to start pushing up onto 27 wins or more. One of those things is first-time shots, not even timed first-time shots, just first-time shots. A lot of the high-end players do them a lot, and a lot of the problems I encountered over the course of this weekend was coming from people who just passed very quickly, very rapidly in the midfield, and then hit a shot from 25 yards, and I just wasn't ready for it, wasn't prepared. And again, against lesser players, even though they might be good players still, even elite-level players, they don't play like that. So it gives you time defensively. Even if, like me, I'm bad defensively, it still gives me time to reposition and get a challenge or a block in if they take that touch and that second touch. But if they hit it first time, I'm just all at sea. And on that note, in terms of more of my offensive play not being so great, I take way too long to build up my play. I'm very slow through the midfield. I don't, like, so many times after the fact, I would see a player breaking through the back line and I just wouldn't play it. You know, it's not in my mind's eye to look for that run, so I don't. So I see it after and I'm like, oh, I should have played that. And by then it's too late, because they've either recovered the ball or got into a good enough defensive position where they've covered the runs. And so again, from all the best players that I came up against this weekend, one of the things that I noticed the most was first-time shots, very rapid passing through building up phase. That's not necessarily fast, fast attack or whatever it is. It's not necessarily that either. They just pass the ball at very good speeds and very high speeds. And of course, that hurt me a lot. And the third thing that I really need to implement back into my gameplay that I haven't done for a fair few years now, other than necessities, is skill moves. One of the guys that I played, which we're not going to see the game today because I didn't show the very final 3 games. I just showed up until I got to Elite 3. But one of the guys that I played in the final few games, I lost on penalties to him, but he was a top 100 player and considerably better than me. And one of the things that he was doing a lot, like you see what I did with Mbappe there, a little ball roll fake shot got me into some space. He did that all the time. When the ball came into his feet, it was an immediate fake shot, and not in the same direction and not in an obvious direction. It was just a random fake shot to take the ball away from a defender to give him some space. People doing a drag back and then passing before the push forward comes into play. One guy that I came up against would do La Croqueta, and before the La Croqueta finished, he would press the pass button. And it threw me through a loop, because I'm expecting the ball to kind of transition to where the end of the La Croqueta will be, but before he finishes the transition, the ball's already pinged away, and it just left me recognizing the fact that my attacking play needs as much work as my defensive play. And so I really want to work hard this week on my build-up play, first-time shots, and skill moves, and hopefully that will then turn, because I lost, I think, 4 games, or 4 of my 6 losses either came by penalties or I lost by 1 goal. And so if I could just improve my defense won't matter, because if I can turn those narrow losses into narrow wins via scoring more, who knows if I can get 27 or 28 wins, right? You know, we definitely have the capabilities. It's just whether or not we have the kind of mental fortitude to add all of those extras into our game. So that was how my game was offensively. And then defensively, I was getting pulled apart as per usual this week. Still bringing my second man, you know, the second defender out. So many of the goals I conceded came from me selecting one of my two centre-backs and running them forwards. And all that does is it just leaves space for 1-2s. And I've really, if I want to improve as a player, if I want to actually sit here and say, there's another example of somebody doing a skill move and passing before it's finished. The guy with, I think, Kante or Pele, I can't who is that? Eusebio. He did a drag back, and before the drag back was completed, he pressed the pass button. So it's interesting. It's very intriguing for me to see that sort of stuff. But yeah, in terms of my defensive play, we've known about my defensive issues for a long time. But one of the things that I kept getting scored from this week, which I haven't conceded as many goals from this week in a long time, is getting countered down the wings and someone cutting it across goal for a tap-in. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me why. You know, I'm sitting there thinking like, why is my team so far up the field? And it wasn't until game 28 of the 30 where one of my viewers said, dude, I don't know if you realize this, but your fullbacks aren't on stay back while attacking and nor is CDMs. And me being me, I was like, they are. I know I've sorted my tactics 100 times. I know that they are. And when I went into tactics, lo and behold, they weren't. So for the whole weekend, both of my fullbacks and both of my CDMs, that is imperative to have them as stay back while attacking whilst the way I play, were not on stay back while attacking. And I can't help but think again, I wonder how differently some of the games that I played would have gone that I lost if I would have had the defensive options there that should have been there in the first place set via tactic settings. So I'm very excited for next weekend to go into the game and just kind of see what I can do now. You know, we've got 24 wins this weekend, and we took a few losses that, although I let myself down in them, I felt like I was on a very similar level to my opponents. So, you know, I don't need too much work to become better than those kind of players. So, in that regard, maybe, who knows, maybe next week we can edge a few of those in. Maybe we don't. Maybe we come up against, you know, again, it comes down to luck of matchmaking at the end of the day. I got relatively lucky with a few of my matches. Like even the game that I got the game that I got my 22nd win with, the guy just wasn't very good, you know, like. And I was at the time 21-4. So I'm on a plus 15 form. I can only imagine what his record was and how he ended up matching against me. And you see right there, that play right there, maybe you want to skip back 10 seconds, is a prime example of me needing to improve my attack. Now, I know I scored a goal off of that attack, but I had Mbappe clean through, and I was reluctant to play the ball to him. And I did a skill move instead, waited for him to come back and then played the ball into him. And I don't know why I've been playing like that, but in a nutshell, guys, my gameplay this weekend was good, but not great. I've got a lot to improve on, a lot of holes in my game that I really know I can get better at and that I want to work hard to try and get better at this week. But with that being said, let's get into some of the comments. The first one is from SOS66. He says, I'm 52, but only usually get to gold 3. I still enjoy playing the game. Only getting to gold 3 at 52 is an incredible achievement. Like, that's honestly incredible. It makes me feel like I could, you know, potentially be in this industry for another 20 years. You know, if I'm able to get gold 1s, 2s and 3s or thereabouts whilst I'm in my 40s and 50s, that would be amazing. There's some guys out there right now that, you know, struggle to get gold 3 that are young, vibrant, high reaction kids, and they struggle. So hey, if you're rocking at 52 getting gold 3, that's absolutely incredible, man. Well done. Yub and Swarina in the flesh says, hey Nep, if YouTube didn't work out, what would you do as a job? Hope the family's going great, bro. Right now, I don't know. I have a lot of like opportunities. I'd be able to still work in the gaming industry in some regard or another. But ultimately, I don't know what I would do if YouTube didn't work out. It's not to say I don't have, like I say, I think a lot of people in general seem to think that if YouTubers didn't have YouTube, they would have nothing. And although not so much these days, over the past few years, you know, people would say, oh, if it wasn't for us giving you views, you'd be homeless bum. So, you know, and it's the small minority of people that are just toxic, but, you know, show us respect. We're the reason you even have a job and stuff like this. I'm like, listen, I started YouTube when I was 26 years old. I didn't just get born into a YouTube channel with a lot of subscribers. I had a job beforehand. I had a life beforehand. But if you don't know, I used to run pubs in London. So worst case scenario is I could just go back to working in the pub industry. It obviously wouldn't be the ideal step down, But that is literally a worst case scenario. I have very many qualifications and almost 15 years of experience in the pub industry. So I'm very much suited for good jobs in that industry. So that would be one thing that I would do. But hopefully, and I'm working towards this. Some of you that watch me on Mixer will know. But I'm working towards this now over the next few years. Is hopefully I'll just have a property empire essentially. The idea is to buy houses to either rent them out or use them as like holiday homes for Airbnbs. Well on our way already. We're very close to picking up our 4th house now. We're just waiting for the documentation to come through. And you know, I've been very smart. I talked about this to a lot of people again on stream. I've been very smart with my money over the last, since I was younger. I'm very rarely am frivolous. I don't really go and spend stupid money on stupid things. I don't have lots of jewelry. I never really bought expensive cars. I don't go to expensive bars. Like, you know what I mean? I don't, like, I only upgrade my phone, for example, when it needs to be upgraded. I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, new phone, must get. Like, everything for me there has to be a reason for me to spend it. One of my biggest outgoings, one of my biggest, expenditures is just giving money to my family that are in need of it, right? So, I financially help a lot of my close family quite often. And so that's where a lot of the money goes. But, I've had a decade in this industry now. And other than, the mishaps from 2016, 2017, where I got an extremely large fine and legal fees, my money has been put to very good use. So with another year or 2 or 3 or 4 or many more, who knows, of this industry, I'll be fortuitous enough to be able to set my life up through property to not really need to work to still generate income. So that's kind of like where my plan is over the next few years. The next comment is from Chance the Rapper. Good to see you on the videos, dude. Seeing you live, funnily enough, in Scotland, supporting Eminem. He says, how do I make my crosses actually go to the player? Because whenever I do the OP crosses, the ball just floats to the middle of the box and not to a specific player. And so what I've found with that is that formation is everything. When I've tried through draft other formations, don't care what it is or where the players are, I cannot find the same level of success with crossing as what I can find with the 4-2-3-1. And that is simply down to where the players stand. You'll notice, although I score back post crosses like the one that I just scored there, what you'll notice is actually a lot of my crosses are scored from just off center of the box, whichever direction it comes in at. Bale is usually at the back post, but the middle of the box. It's not like it's a back of the box cross, it's a back post cross. So being the ball getting sent to the middle of the box is perfectly acceptable. It's where your players stand to attack that ball that is the issue. And as I say, I've found personally for me, the only successful way I've had of actually getting the ball to the heads of the players is by running the 4-2-3-1 narrow. There's not another single formation that I've found that works well for it. Alberto says, watching this gameplay, you actually played some insane FIFA this weekend. Good to see. Keep it up. And thank you for saying that. And I actually did. I felt like, other than the crosses, there were several instances where I completely dominated my opponents for possession, created some brilliant goal-scoring opportunities and scored some brilliant goals, scored some nicely worked goals with passing moves, scored some nice abusive mechanic goals, including like scoop volleys and stuff like that. But yeah, generally speaking, I felt like I played really good FIFA this weekend. And so I was really happy with that. And that's where it left us, guys. It left us on 23 wins with 3 games remaining. And there was me the whole weekend just nervous as hell, to the point where like I got to 17-1, right? I've never been 17-1 before. That was my best ever start. I've been 17-2 before. And I remember vividly going from 17-2 to 19-7 and needing to win the last 4 for Elite, which I did manage to clutch out. But I was bottling, you know what I mean? I was bottling hard. On this occasion, I never took 2 consecutive losses the whole weekend. We went 13-0 to 13-1, all the way up to 17-1, and then literally did win-loss to 20-4. So I went 17-2, 18-2, 18-3, 19-3, 19-4, 20-4, and then I went up and won 3 more consecutive games for 23-4, and then I lost 23-5, and then I won 24-5, and then I lost 24-6. So yeah, was very, very happy to not lose consecutive games. It means that even whilst playing at plus 15 form, plus 15 elo, I was able to hold my own. And that's why I really, really want to improve on those small areas of gameplay that I can improve on, because if I can then edge those win-loss to win-win-loss, win-win-loss, before you know it, we're starting to really get to the position where we can hit 27 plus wins. Of course, it's not that simple, right? Every game is each in its own, and matchmaking can be wild. I could come up against 3 pros in a row and then 10 scrubs in a row. Like it's not as black and white as that. But yeah, generally speaking, really, really happy with the weekend. Just delighted to get Elite 3 rewards from the Premier League, man. I'm so happy. And look at that pack, guys. Edison in the pack and Belotti the same pack. It came from the Liverpool SBC. Phenomenal luck right there. I haven't been grinding the League SBC system this weekend because we dedicated it to playing the games. So I'm glad, I was happy to hit him and get ourselves a massive payout from paying almost no attention to the League SBC system this weekend. But that, guys, is going to be the end of the video for today. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.